What's up, guys? I'm John from Black Flag Dive Center. Welcome to this week's episode of Fin Tips Friday. Today I'm going to be going through what's in my Save a Dive kit. I know that as a budding instructor or a new diver, I had questions about what all goes in there. Now, keep in mind that I've been teaching for a while, so my kit is extensive. So, most people probably don't need all of this stuff. However, I'm going to take you through it because I've been needing to clean it out for a while. So I decided I'd take this opportunity to go ahead and take you through what goes into my Save a Dive kit as a professional instructor that teaches pretty much on the regular. Let's get to it. I'm going to apologize in advance for the longevity of this video because there is a fair amount of stuff in my Save a Dive kit. I just keep mine in this zipper bag. I'm open to suggestions on anything that you guys might have. I don't want to carry a giant tackle box with me. I'm open to suggestions as far as organization goes. Drop some comments. First things first, here in the mesh section, I have the almighty zip tie, the world's most versatile scuba tool. I think that most of you will agree with me that having a stack of those with you at all times is a good idea. I also happen to keep those in my BCD. I just shove them in my shoulder strap. I keep those on me at all times because you never know. Zip ties are super versatile when it comes to scuba. Next I have some bungee in here, which can be used to secure a computer if their strap breaks, or secure a fin if in a pinch someone loses a fin strap or something like that. I have the case for a Gerber. It's in here. I have a compass, which is actually just for teaching classes, so that can go somewhere else. I have a really thin channel lock wrench. You can totally buy this guy. This is what I use to get at those hard to reach places on somebody's first stage. It's a great tool. I definitely recommend having one of these, especially the ones that have a little bit shaved off right there. Super useful. I also have a set of Allen keys, which are super rusty because, well, I mean, saltwater, right? Set of Allen keys, use those for taking ports out of first stages, or sometimes BCDs have screws or whatever that have an Allen key head. Super useful tool. Definitely recommend that for everybody. This is an extra strap for my dive computer just because I break stuff. Let's see, I have a Gerber multi-tool here. This is super useful for a lot of stuff. Obviously, I have a set of pliers and a set of wire cutters here. I'll be honest, I don't use a lot of the rest of this tool except for sometimes the knife. I will say that, you know, Gerber makes really fantastic stuff, but pretty much nothing holds up to saltwater. I don't take care of this as well as I should. You end up with tools that are really hard to open because of all the rust. Any suggestions you guys got on that? I'm all ears. Comments right there. Let's see, I have a spare octo holder. Good to have, just in case. You never know when you're gonna break one of those. I have a spare wheel for a cylinder. I know this one may seem funny. I have found myself in a situation where one of these would have been handy. That's why it's in there. Extra mouthpiece. It's a little dirty because it's in the Save a Dive kit in a pinch. That would certainly save somebody's day. Extra mouthpieces are good for everybody. Although, it looks like I need to replace that one because it's cracked. So, need to replace that one. I have two screwdrivers. I have a standard flathead screwdriver. You can use this to pry stuff with. Obviously, anything that has a flathead screw in it, you know, you can use this for. I also have a Phillips head screwdriver as well. Same thing. I probably shouldn't have to explain why screwdrivers are important. Typically, I will carry extra hoses with me. This happens to be a low pressure hose. I believe that the high pressure hose that I have that's my spare is in my actual scuba bag. I have a little compartment in there where I sometimes throw stuff. Extra low pressure hose that I know is good. You never know. Let's see. This is a piece that came off of a BCD that holds the inflator hose in place. It's useful for other stuff too, so you can just secure all kinds of stuff with a little bit of Velcro, which is kind of nice. This is a swivel. I believe I just threw this in there because I think it actually probably failed on somebody and I just took it off and threw it in the Save a Dive kit, so I'm gonna take that one out. Let's see. I do have a second set of adjustable crescent wrench because you never know when you're going to need two to, you know, get pressure on both sides of something. I even have a extra super small one for that same purpose. Technically, I guess I have 3 of those. Another set of Allen keys. I'm sure this is either the metric or the imperial, and the other one is its brother, with obviously the one that I use the most sticking out. Yet another swivel. Repeating pattern. I'm gonna take that one out of there. So let's see. I have a spare pressure gauge here that should work. I believe it does. This is just in case someone's pressure gauge ruptures or it starts leaking or whatever. I have an extra pressure gauge. Typically, I have an extra high pressure hose as well. Like I said, that one's probably in my other bag. This is a specialty tool that is used for the Scuba Pro Supernova fins and Scuba Pro BCDs. It has a lot of funky stuff on it that is really useful if you know how to use it. This piece as well. That's used for specialty stuff. Same here, specialty Scuba Pro tool that's used for Scuba Pro equipment. I can adjust a regulator on the fly. I can take a hose off really easily if it's a Scuba Pro hose. Typically, inserts for cylinders are either this one or this one. All kinds of stuff can be done with this. Certain stuff can only be done with this, so I carry that with me. Magic eraser for the slates. Super important piece of equipment because this way I can erase it between dives. Let's see. This is just something that can hold pretty much anything. You just unscrew this piece here and you can clip it onto anything. And then you have a quick release here that you just pull on this and it releases. I used to keep my slates on something like this. I think I found a smaller one and then just ended up throwing this in the bag. It's not quite as versatile as a double-ended bolt snap, so I'll probably just take this out and substitute a double-ended bolt snap in there for it. That goes to the Scuba Pro tool. These little, I think they're called cleats. I could be wrong about that. Somebody in the comment section will let me know. I use these to hang our flags and our banners. Personally, I know that they're super versatile to use for all kinds of stuff. I keep one of these in there. Stainless steel key rings. They're probably scattered about. I probably have a few of those. I think those are super useful for maybe attaching something to someone's BC, or you could, I typically keep my slates on stainless steel key rings. That's what I use them for. They can be really useful for attaching all kinds of stuff. Let's see, another part of the spare strap for the Garmin. This looks like yet another Allen tool because 2 is 1 and 1 is none. I have lots of those. This is a quick disconnect that I know works really well. It has a weird locking mechanism, so I think I took it off of something and substituted it for something else. So probably just ended up throwing that in the bag. I'll probably just, I might keep that. Dental tool. Super useful for getting O-rings out of cylinders. So a little pick to get O-rings out of things. Stainless steel, so hopefully it doesn't rust. As you can see, it's just stained less, right? All right, these 2 are O-ring kits that I just made. These are, I don't remember what these things were originally. They're great for holding O-rings. I have 2 kits. I have one for a DIN kit, and then I have one for like regulators, low pressure hoses, tanks, that kind of stuff. Looks like I have a spare tool because 2 is 1, 1 is none. Maybe I give it to somebody. Then of course I just have freaking garbage I'm sure I found in the ocean. There's a double-ended bolt snap. Normally I have a big bag of these laying around in there. I'm sure I've given them all away because that's what I do. And let's see, I think that's probably the most, let's see here, I've got a couple of port plugs. These are kind of important. I have low pressure and high pressure plugs here, I think. Probably. You never know when someone's transmitter dies or whatever. Maybe you got to replace a hose or whatever the case may be. Just having a couple of these on hand, it's a good idea. They're not in the best shape. They'll do the trick in a pinch. This would go with my cylinder wheel. Like I said, I know it may seem silly. I have in fact needed both of those things on a dive before. That spring goes with it as well. I wouldn't necessarily recommend taking apart a cylinder's wheel if you don't know what you're doing. Luckily I do, so I have definitely repaired one on the fly. These are a couple of spare pieces for an Ocean Reef full face mask to extend the nose pieces. It's useful for me. I teach full face mask a lot, so these are useful for me. These are for a back plate and wing. These basically can fasten things to a back plate through a hole. That's what I use those for from time to time. This was a remnant from either a pony bottle or a side mount or something like that. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm totally open to suggestions on what could be added to it. If you guys have important things that can go in a Save a Dive kit that I don't have in mind, I'm all ears, because I definitely want to be prepared for any scenario. Now, I will say that this is an extensive kit, but when you do what I do every day, which is teach, you kind of need a lot of this stuff. If you were going to have the world's greatest sunshine and rainbows kit, I would say that I can fix most things that are going to go wrong with a kit that has these items in it. Great, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.